Hola amigos, bien o no, mis saludos desde Medellín. Hoy um, voy, a, voy a mostrar um, un técnico que yo hablé en el día pasado, que cómo reutilizar o diferentes formas que nosotros podemos utilizar leyendo para ayudarnos en algunas formas, por ejemplo, para pronunciación, vocabulario, formas de expresión y algunos ejemplos gramáticos también. Por eso, vuelve a este libro. En el parte atrás de este libro tiene muchas oraciones que están muy útiles porque ellos son traduciendo inglés hasta español. Yo voy a leer para un ejemplo y después puedo explicar mi idea. Listo. ¿Tiene usted alguna experiencia en este trabajo? Have you any experience in this work? Have you any experience in this work? ¿Tiene usted alguna experiencia en este trabajo? Okay. So these sentences help me two ways. Now I can see that the word experience in English is the same word, or practically the same word, experiencia in Espanol, in Spanish. So a very slight change in spelling, but basically the same word. I also get a nice expression for have you, in the sense of a question, tiene usted. So I know if I use that phrase, tiene usted, it's the same as saying have you. Alguna I can take as meaning any, and in este trabajo, in this work. So now I know the word for work, trabajo, any, alguna, in this, en este, y tiene usted is have you. So that's my vocabulary quite well worked out. It also gives me a useful question. Have you, tiene usted, so I now know question form. So just from that reading, I get vocabulary and I get like a pattern of words. So if I see tiene usted, I know that they're asking me, have you? So just by doing that short reading, you can see what I mean in the sense that you can draw lots of information just from that one very short sentence. Okay, you might say, well, that's quite easy vocabulary. Well, that's true. But you could widen that out if you're reading a different book, a more complicated one. But the idea is just to show you that by reading any sentence really, if you look at it carefully and take it apart, you get different stuff from it. Let's try a different one. Hubo una caída en el tipo de cambio. There was a fall in the exchange rate. Hubo una caída en el tipo de cambio. Hubo una caída en el tipo de cambio. There was a fall in the exchange rate. Okay, so again, I know that hubo was there was. Una caída, a fall. El tipo, I take to be the rate. De cambio, as in exchange. So I get more vocabulary from it, and I get another expression. There was, hubo. So there we go. It's that way to think about it. I mean, this book's really helpful because you get the whole thing translated for you side by side. But even without that direct translation thing, I hope you get the idea. Just from short sentences, you can extract lots of useful information, which again will hopefully then feed back into the other kind of dialogues or practices you're looking at. So it's a new way to do some of your reading. clearly reading aloud is the really helpful part, and just by reading a whole page of stuff is always going to help you because you get to listen to the sounds, and again you're going to see a lot of vocabulary. But sometimes you can do it in a bit more of a detective type way and look at what's that really saying and what's that expression that they're using, because the more you start spotting those, that's the thing that's going to help you understand some of the very basic kind of grammar rules that we still need to get our head around a bit so we can make a bit more progress in our move to fluency. So there we go, that's the idea for today. Hope that was useful. Déjame saber en los comentarios, como siempre. So if you haven't read it already, highly recommend this one. Very good book. But for now, at least from Medellin, we shall say Cheerio.